Stemmons Enterprise can help solve some very basic problems. Let's talk about meetings, specifically making meetings matter. Here we have two people, a manager and a supervisor. They meet all the time. We can think of this as their line of communication. The supervisor works with other managers, and those lines look different, if they even exist at all. What can we say about the way this supervisor interacts with his managers? There's probably an irregular schedule. The agendas are random. The meetings differ by person. Nothing is tracked. It's hard to prepare for these meetings. They exist in isolation, and the company doesn't really learn anything from them. This is probably manageable for a small team. But what about when we look at its impact on the entire organization? It would be great if we could smooth out these lines of communications and add some common agenda items, in this case represented by the blue dots. That way meetings are happening consistently. Now consider an important topic that the director wants to communicate. It would be nice if we could push that agenda item into everybody's meetings. And what about the opportunities, issues, ideas, and so forth that come out of those meetings? It would be nice if we could push that back up so the company could learn. If we're operating this way, we have a regular schedule, consistent agendas, limited preparation is required, we push important topics, and the institution learns. In addition, these meetings are highly trackable, and it's easy to train someone. That's very powerful for a group of 12 managers, but what about a company with 1,200 or 12,000? The impact of structured meetings is tremendous. How does it actually work? In Stemmons Enterprise, we start with two entity types, the meeting template and the agenda item. Let's take an operations check-in. It would have several agenda items that it connects to. There's also a section for manager's choice, so they can talk about whatever they think is important. Now let's take a second meeting, a compliance update. It subscribes to some of the same agenda items, but it also has its own. Same story for a safety review. Now, remember those important topics? Maybe it's time to prepare for hurricane season, or we're rebranding the company and we want everybody to cover it. At the end, we have a series of meetings that are subscribing to a group of agenda items. In many cases, the agenda items will have specific pre-configured reports that mean you get the information the same way every time. Others will have standards that provide the content needed to cover the topic. Think of the result as a card for each meeting type, showing only the agenda items for that meeting. The supervisor pulls the card for the meeting they're going to have, and they get to work. This approach creates a classic cycle of improvement. Originate or create the cases to have the meetings. Execute is when the manager and the supervisor actually meets, and then we learn by running analyses and interventions based on the information in the meetings. We repeat the process to complete the cycle of improvement. This is how Stemmons Enterprise can help make meetings matter.